What if I told you that one of the most well-known husbands in love and hip-hop just went from a redemption story to being placed in handcuffs? No, this isn't another scandal involving infidelity. This is very serious, deeper, and darker. Because Mendeecees Harris, yes, Mr. Yandandi Ride or Die himself, was just detained after Jasmine Bleu accused him of forced sex, according to leaked reports. And that's the bit that's making ripples online. According to reports, the video supports her account. Now consider whether this was a setup that was finally revealed or just a hookup gone wrong. Was Jasmine lying? Or did the man Yandi stood up for in federal courtrooms and the baby mother scandal truly go too far and nobody noticed? What about the tape? Yes, this is not a rumor. Law enforcement, according to sources, has the complete tape, including audio that prosecutors are in the process of reviewing. What does this signify for Mona Scott and VH1? For the modern era of reality television? Because what's going to happen makes the original freak tape seem like a trailer. Fasten your seatbelt. This isn't your typical plot. An empire is collapsing here. Let's explore the truth that they hoped you wouldn't discover. Let's quit acting as though reality TV is no longer genuine. Because it wasn't from Mona Scott's editing room that what was just released onto the streets came from. It was taken directly from the police report. Furthermore, there isn't a confessional chair available to tidy up this mess this time. Harris Mendeecees, the same man who walked the streets as the rehabilitated king of hip-hop and love. The same man who came out of prison into a reunion with Yandandi straight out of a fairy tale. The same man who claimed to have changed was just arrested, handcuffed, and taken away following a claim that has the entire business reeling. And it was Jasmine Bleu, the woman at the heart of it all. Yes, the emerging star Jasmine Bleu, who has been making subtle waves in the LHH world for several months. However, nobody anticipated this. What began as rumors of a leaked recording has now escalated into an arrest, an inquiry, and what could turn out to be the greatest collapse in hip-hop and love history. Based on police records that somehow found their way into blog inboxes, and a few days after the now famous freak tape was published, Jasmine Bleu filed a criminal complaint against Mendeecees. This is when things become very bad, though, because the tape isn't the only problem anymore. She claims that this occurred even before the camera began to roll. Jasmine stated in her formal declaration that she never gave her entire agreement to the events of that evening. Not to the performance, not to the recording, and most especially not to being made into a public amusement viral calamity. The aspect that sent Twitter into overdrive was when law enforcement revealed they now had the entire video, not the cut-up version that aired in private viewing rooms, or the modified copy. Kirk allegedly sent to VH1 producers the actual raw, uncut file. And based on what individuals inside are whispering, that the clip is devastating in addition to being sloppy. Let's take a moment to go back and establish the groundwork. Because there was no arrest at the start of this story. A leak started it all. Only a few weeks ago, a strange film purportedly showing Mendeecees and Jasmine Bleu in a dark hotel room had Twitter threads and gossip blogs going crazy. People initially believed it to be just another staged hip-hop and love event. Perhaps a sultry video for teases about reunions. Not that unusual for reality television. However, Kirk Frost abruptly joined the conversation. The complete tape was apparently leaked to a VH1 producer by the same Kirk who has been avoiding his own marriage for almost 10 years. Why? Rumor has it that he was resentful of being excluded from the upcoming season. Thus, he revealed the secret. Kirk was unaware, however, that the bomb he leaked was more than just fanfare. It was proof. You see, nobody anticipated the chain of events that began when that video left his hands and entered a production pipeline. Jasmine Bleu lawyered up instead of simply panicking. According to sources, her legal team promptly submitted documentation asserting that the video was captured without explicit consent. The fact that it displayed indications of manipulation and coercion is even more alarming. Before the incident, Jasmine allegedly spent weeks dating Mendeecees off-camera. Even while she acknowledges their involvement, she maintains that she never consented to being videotaped, and that what transpired that evening went too far and into criminal territory. Then the video appeared. It wasn't sexy, according to a VH1 editor who says they've seen the entire raw file. It was not even reciprocal. Both felt it. Mendeecees allegedly responds, "It's just for us. No one else will ever see it." They also claim that Jasmine seemed apprehensive and uncertain at one point, saying, "I don't think I want to do this on camera." How did it work out? Everything changed when Jasmine's team turned over the video to the Atlanta Police Department just a few days after that scene was leaked. What had previously seemed like a careless side story controversy now had the weight of criminal intent. Court insiders said that after officers examined the video and spoke with Jasmine, they concluded that there was a good basis to move forward, so they did. Mendeecees Harris was taken into custody early on Tuesday morning as he was leaving a Midtown meeting with VH1 executives. There were no cameras. Police were present, but Mona Scott wasn't. And now, the man who was previously commended for changing his life might be going back to prison, where it all began. This is where things become even more twisted, though. The tape was never intended for public consumption, according to a person purportedly involved in production. In actuality, no crew member ever videotaped it. It was purportedly taken in Mendeecees' own hotel suite with a mounted iPhone on a stand. In other words, he shared, saved, and recorded it. The examination now includes whether that was an accident or deliberate. Kirk as well. Let's not pretend that man is innocent either, as Jasmine's team added his name to the case after it was revealed that he had leaked the file, alleging that he had contributed to the unapproved dissemination of explicit content. To be clear, Mendeecees has been placed under arrest. In a criminal case, Jasmine Bleu is a complainant. Kirk is currently a co-defendant in another civil case. VH1 is rushing to clear up the negative publicity. As for Yandindi, well, we'll talk about her in part 2 because she's crucial to the outcome. Not to be overlooked is the general public. Since the news broke, Twitter has been ablaze. There was a tweet that said, "Yandy stood by him through Fed time and this is how he does her." Another said, "I don't care who's famous if that footage is real. And if this is what we saw on camera, imagine what happens off camera. This isn't just gossip anymore. It's a storm. And in the middle of it, a man who once convinced millions that he was changed is sitting in a cold room answering questions he never thought he'd have to face again. The worst part, according to sources close to Jasmine's legal team, is just the beginning. The cops have multiple files because of that footage, and the next one may contain audio that closes the deal. So this is where things go from messy to monstrous because, according to insiders close to the investigation that leaked hotel footage, it wasn't the only one. And the second video reportedly contains audio that even the cops didn't expect. To set the scene, Jasmine Bleu enters the hotel room expecting it to be private, possibly even romantic, but the second video, which was allegedly taken just before the famous tape that everyone saw, shows an argument, with Jasmine saying, "I don't want to do this anymore. This seemed personal to me," wherein Mendeecees are purportedly, "You already said yes," he replies. "Quit being so novel. Now stop, give up, take a breath." Because it is no longer a TV drama. That is coercion from a textbook. Let's go back to Yandy because, while Mendeecees was being booked and Jasmine was sitting down with detectives, our queen of ride-or-die loyalty was on set filming her confessional, or at least attempting to. According to an Atlanta Police Department statement leaked to Bossip Unfiltered, authorities are now reviewing all digital evidence connected to the incident, including metadata, audio logs, and even deleted files recovered from the device. Yes, they forensically examined the phone that recorded the video, and that phone allegedly belonged to Mendeecees himself. A witness from the hair and makeup trailer claims that Yandandi sat in silence for a full minute before muttering, "That's not even the part that hurts." She was preparing her segment for the next Love and hip-hop reunion teaser when she was pulled aside by a producer and discreetly shown the uncut footage, the second tape. What happened next? Collapse again. The rest of it was a lie from him. After that, she simply walked out of the studio. Without a word, Mike clipped to her sweatshirt, left her shoes beneath the chair, and climbed into a black SUV. VH1 security attempted to pursue her, but she waved them away and one producer claimed she was sobbing so much she was having trouble breathing. Yandy's breakdown was only the beginning because by the time her SUV pulled away from the lot, the blogs had it all. The police confirmation report, which stated that Mendeecees was officially under investigation for alleged sexual misconduct involving non-consensual recording and coercive acts, was leaked by someone, and we mean someone inside VH1. That line hit the timeline like a tsunami, and then came the avalanche, trended number 2 on Twitter for 11 hours straight, as if someone handed Kirk Frost a gas can and a box of matches. He went live. "Yep. Mister, I just leaked a tape that ruined 2 careers. Hopped on Instagram like nothing happened and said, people want to act like I'm the villain. But nobody was saying that when I was keeping it real." Several cast members criticized Mona Scott for knowing too much and saying too little. And even Rashida posted a mysterious story. "You only got a taste of what you witnessed. Think of what I failed to dump." The man was cocky, chuckling, and smiling. comments a battlefield. While some fans cheered, others were furious, saying, "Explore them all, Kirk." Another comment that really got to me was, "You think this is funny until you're the one in handcuffs." Because, let's not forget, Jasmine's legal team didn't stop with Mendeecees. Kirk is named in the civil suit as a willing distributor of explicit content without consent, and there are now rumors that criminal charges could follow. According to one blog, an internal VH1 legal memo acknowledged the ongoing risk of litigation exposure related to the unauthorized distribution of footage involving active cast members. The official Love and Hip Hop account hasn't posted in days, which is unheard of for a franchise that thrives on chaos. Translation: everyone is sweating, everyone is lawyered up, and nobody knows who's going down next. Even VH1 has gone into full lockdown mode. According to a verified VH1 journalist, Jasmine Bleu's team is allegedly negotiating a sit-down interview. Yes, you read correctly. Jasmine has been approached by 2 streaming platforms and 1 major podcast to give her side of the story, unfiltered. One offer reportedly includes full creative control, upfront legal protection, and a $50,000 appearance fee. What about Yandandy? Although she hasn't released an official comment, her silence has just stoked the fires. According to a close friend, she told Blogzilla, "Yandy is done. If Jasmine talks, if she tells it all, this doesn't just kill Mendeecees' career. It might bring half the franchise down with him." She will not return. She's heartbroken, disgusted, and to be honest, she may even sue. Mona Scott, the mastermind behind it all, might be dealing with 3 lawsuits at once if that occurs. One from Yandandy, one from Jasmine, and possibly one from the internal compliance department of VH1. Indeed, it is that deep. Men's has been completely silent since the arrest. No bond statements. No press, not even a leaked lawyer quote. But according to legal insiders, his team is working behind the scenes to prevent the tape from being entered into public court documents. Why? Because if the footage goes public, if it's shown in open court, there's no turning back. Not for Mendeecees, not for Kirk, not for Mona, and not even for the franchise itself. You would think that he would issue a denial, perhaps an apology, or some desperate "I'm innocent" Instagram story. Could film something so explosive, leak it, get arrested, and still have people supporting him. Well, welcome to the dark side of reality TV, where ratings are more important than consent, secrets are currency, and the truth is rarely televised. By this point, the dominoes weren't just falling. They were collapsing like a rigged reality set, one explosive leak at a time. Jasmine Bleu, who was once called a clout chaser by half of the cast, was at the center of a cultural firestorm, and if you thought her team would remain silent, think again, because late Tuesday night, just hours after Mendeecees' arrest hit the blogs, Jasmine went live, but not on Instagram. No, sis went for the jugular. "I didn't ask for this. I didn't leak that video. I didn't know he was recording, and I never said yes." Boom. With those 4 sentences, Jasmine Bleu did what lawyers, bloggers, and the court of public opinion had been trying to do for weeks. She humanized the headline. She pulled back the curtain on the fake glam facade of reality TV and showed the world what happens when castmates become collateral damage for storylines. She didn't just call out men's confessions on YouTube. It was 22 minutes long, without any cuts, tears, or background music. She called out VH1 and Kirk Frost, saying that he wasn't protecting women, that he was using our suffering as a weapon, and that he leaked that tape because he wanted to harm Mendeecees and didn't care who he destroyed in the process. Then came the receipts. Jasmine displayed screenshots of texts from Mendeecees, including one that stood out, "Don't worry, I got the footage. I trust you. Just keep this between us." The email thread was purportedly between her and a VH1 segment producer, and it was time-stamped 4 hours after the encounter. You can see it in her face. She's telling the truth. Mona knew and let it happen. Cancel the entire network. Yandy stood by a predator. I'm sick. Then, as if karma had a deadline, another leak appeared. This time it was a memo from VH1's legal department. It was never meant to see daylight. An internal document that was red-stamped and detailed the network's exposure risk regarding Jasmine's claim. Within minutes, the video was trending on Twitter. And buried in the second paragraph, several team members raised concerns about the hotel encounter as a possible violation of ethical consent guidelines, but nothing was done about it. That one line went viral, and producers, editors, and Mona all knew it. They chose to let it simmer instead of stopping it because they knew that scandal sells and that reality TV doesn't stop when the cameras are rolling and the tea is boiling. However, this time the tea was radioactive, and now Mona Scott finds herself in the exact position she's placed others in on Defense for years. Even veteran cast members are switching sides, and Twitter users are dragging Mona every day. One hashtag, "You'd shut down Love and Hip Hop," has 200,000 signatures. Erica Amina commented, "Y'all finally seeing the monster behind the magic. Do not claim that I did not warn you." Tahari also stepped in. "They treated us as if we were disposable plot points. Justice is due to Jasmine." Rashida then lost it. With a single sentence, the hitherto devoted Queen of Atlanta posted a dark screen. This is no longer entertainment. From the summit, the silence was deafening. VH1 has not yet made a genuine public announcement. Their social media accounts are frozen. A week prior to the scandal blowing up, Mona Scott shared a Some Throwback Thursday selfie as her final post. All platforms have disabled or locked comments. Lawyers are also lurking like sharks behind the scenes. 2 civil lawsuits have already been filed by Jasmine Bleu. One against Kirk Frost and Mona Scott of VH1 for distributing sexual content without consent, causing emotional distress and exploiting people, and one against Mendeecees for coercion and non-consensual filming. Additionally, it is reported that a claim of $10 million is being prepared. However, this is when the situation takes a last violent turn. A subpoena has been issued for Yandandi Smith. Indeed, the woman who previously testified in court in favor of Mendeecees is now being asked to testify in a case in which he is said to have violated another. Permission of a woman on camera. Take a moment to process that. She is reportedly collaborating as well. According to insiders, Yandi spent more than 4 hours being questioned by Jasmine's legal team. According to one insider, she turned over production communications, calendar logs, and texts that go against what VH1 publicly says. In other words, she lost it. She is done defending him, even though she isn't suing. The world is also keeping an eye on Mendeecees, who is still being held pending formal accusations. Observing the fall of the empire, the increasing quiet, and the eventual exploitation of a franchise founded on exploitation. Since what began as a bizarre recording controversy evolved into a national dialogue regarding consent, reality TV, dialogue regarding consent, reality TV, morality, and the extent to which networks will go to maintain their relevance. Did he do it? Isn't that the question now? How many individuals allowed it to occur, and how many more cassettes are concealed in locked vaults, unedited drives, or burned hard drives that no one wants to acknowledge exist? That is the question. It was more than a moment. Jasmine Bleu simply destroyed the pattern here. And one thing is evident as the last credits roll regarding Mendeecees Harris's reputation. Nobody's trauma is worth a plot point. Not even on Hip Hop and Love. We were able to ask the one question that VH1 never wanted you to ask because the smoke is thick, the receipts are visible to the public, and the silence is louder than ever. How many more tapes like these are there? Because if Mendeecees, the man who has been portrayed as transformed, healed, and redeemed, could accomplish this without the cameras even. What does it say about those who have been hiding behind editing rooms, non-disclosure agreements, and Mona Scott's fix-it-in-post mentality now that things are officially rolling? Additionally, Jasmine Bleu dropped a grenade in addition to tea. What so many women in this field have been afraid to whisper, she said aloud, that occasionally there is manipulation, coercion, and a machine that thrives on silence beneath the glitz, lights, and lip gloss. However, silence no longer resides here. What comes next, then? Is there an apology from VH1? Does Mona resign at last? Does this lawsuit proceed to trial and result in jail time? We are observing it in real time. Now the backhand index is pointing downward. Leave a comment. Do you think Jasmine is real? Does Kirk also need to be arrested? Does this represent the Yendi of hip-hop and love as we know it? Click like if you're tired of phony redemption stories. For more unvarnished, unadulterated analyses, subscribe. And believe us, we will uncover the truth when it is buried. Therefore, there will be more leaks in the future. Gossip spill vibe is this. The empire simply collapsed.